The candles on my birthday cake cast flickering shadows across vacant chairs. 10 empty place settings mock me from around the private rooftop table. Each pristine napkin folded into a perfect triangle. Each crystal glass catching the Brooklyn sunset's glow. A waiter hovers near the entrance, his eyes darting away when I glance in his direction. I check my phone again. 7:43 p.m. No messages, no missed calls. The screen's harsh glare illuminates my careful makeup, my blown-out hair, the silk dress I bought specially for tonight. My stomach clenches as I scroll through my last message to the family group chat. Can't wait to see everyone tonight at 7. 10 enthusiastic responses, 3 heart emojis, 2 wouldn't miss it for the world promises. The hostess approaches with the first course balanced on her tray, her smile too bright, too sympathetic. Would you like me to serve this now, Ms. Dawson? Please. My voice comes out steady, practiced. The silver dome lifts to reveal a single portion of butternut squash soup, steam curling into the autumn air. The original order was for 11 more. A burst of laughter drifts up from other diners on the lower terrace. My spoon clinks against fine china, each sip tasting of ash and childhood disappointments. The 6 days since my birthday stretch like a bruise, darkening with each passing hour. No calls, no texts, no belated apologies from the family that forgot me. My office at Meridian Strategy Partners wraps around me like armor. Here, in this corner space with its clean lines and organized files, I control everything. The morning light washes over my laptop, where Q3 projections fill the screen. Numbers never forget. Numbers never make excuses. A notification buzzes my phone. The family group chat, silent since my last "can't wait to see everyone" message, springs to life. Mom's text glows on the screen. Martin's 60th birthday bash at Charleston Resort. $2,500 per person. Please Venmo me by Thursday. Coffee sloshes over my hand. The scalding liquid barely registers against the ice crystallizing in my chest. My phone buzzes again. And again. Rachel. Done. Dad deserves the best. Tyler. Sent. Can't wait to celebrate. The screen blurs. I blink hard, thumb hovering over the keyboard. Before I can type a response, another message appears. Mom. Claire. Did you see this, honey? Need your portion ASAP for the deposit. My hands shake as I open my banking app. The muscle memory kicks in. How many times have I done this? Too many times to count? But today, something stops me. A small voice growing stronger. Look, really look. I pull up my transaction history. The numbers march down my screen in neat rows, each one a memory. $27,000, transfer to Tyler Dawson, music school tuition. $33,000, transfer to Diane Dawson, Rachel's wedding. $5,200, transfer to Martin Dawson, emergency home repairs. $7,400, transfer to Diane Dawson, family vacation deposit. $12,300, transfer to Martin Dawson, new car down payment. The list scrolls on and on. 6 years of transactions, 6 years of never saying no. My office door clicks shut. Sarah from accounting stands there, concern etched across her face. Claire, you okay? You look like you've seen a ghost. I need your help. The words tumble out before I can stop them. Can you look at something? Sarah settles into the chair across from me, reading glasses perched on her nose. I turn my laptop toward her, spreadsheet after spreadsheet opening under my trembling fingers. Each tab a different year, each cell a different withdrawal. Her sharp intake of breath cuts through the office silence. $198,000? Sarah pushes her glasses up, squinting at the total. Claire, this isn't help. This is exploitation. The word hangs between us. Exploitation. An ugly word for an uglier truth. They're my family, I whisper. No, Sarah reaches across the desk, her hand covering mine. They're your dependents. And you're not their daughter anymore. You're their retirement plan. My phone buzzes again. Mom. Claire? The resort needs final numbers today. Something shifts inside me. A tectonic plate of emotion grinding against years of practiced compliance. I open Venmo. My fingers steady now. The amount field glows empty, waiting. I type $1. Note field. Congrats. Send. The phone erupts. Calls from Mom, Dad, Rachel, Tyler. Their names flash across my screen like warning signals. I silence them all. An hour later, the office phone line blinks. Front desk security. Miss Dawson? Your father is here. Says it's urgent. Tell him I'm in a meeting. The words come out clear, strong. And Angela? Please remove Martin Dawson from my approved visitors list. I pull up my bank's website. Joint emergency account with my parents. $47,000. My finger hovers over the close account button. 6 years of being the family ATM flash through my mind. Birthdays spent alone. Holidays where my gifts were met with hints about bigger needs. Dreams postponed while I funded everyone else's. Click. Account closed. My phone lights up with a text from an unknown number. Rachel using our cousin's phone. You spoiled, selfish bitch. After everything we've done for you. A laugh bubbles up, sharp and unfamiliar. Everything they've done for me. The family photos on my desk catch the morning light. I turn them face down one by one. The locksmith answers on the first ring. Dawson residence? Yes, I need a complete rekey. Today, each call feels like breaking a chain. Bank accounts, credit card authorizations, emergency contacts, even Tyler's a Netflix account that somehow still bills to my card, and the family phone plan I've paid for since college. Last call. Mr. Reeves's office, please? Yes, I'll hold. The classical music on hold fades into a crisp voice. Alan Reeves speaking. Mr. Reeves? I need to discuss financial recovery options. My voice doesn't waver. I have documentation of $198,000 in coerced family transfers. Over 6 years. I glance at my closed office door, where security stands guard. Beyond it, I can hear Martin's voice rising, demanding to see his daughter. But I'm not his daughter right now. I'm a woman closing her account at the Bank of Clare. Permanent withdrawal. Certainly, Miss Dawson. Papers rustle on Reeves's end. Would you prefer to meet this afternoon or tomorrow morning? I check my calendar. Tight except for Dad's birthday planning committee call. Delete. I will call you back to confirm. And Mr. Reeves? Bring whatever paperwork you need for a full audit. I want everything documented. The weight lifts from my shoulders with each word. Outside my window, Brooklyn sparkles in the autumn sun. The city looks different now, like a place where daughters can exist without being saviors, where family means more than an open wallet and an endless supply of forgiveness. I pick up a pen, my handwriting bold across a fresh legal pad. Property inventory, spare keys, shared accounts, co-signed loans. The list grows. Each line a rope I'm ready to cut. My phone lights up one last time. Mom again. Claire Dawson, you answer me right now. You're breaking your father's heart. I text back 4 words. No, I'm saving mine. Then I block them all. The next day at home, the notifications pulse through my phone like an electrical storm. 27 missed calls, 43 text messages, each one from a different number I don't recognize. My mother's voicemail cuts through the morning quiet of my kitchen. Claire, what do you mean access denied? This must be some kind of mistake. Call me back right now. I delete the message with a thumb swipe. The same way I've deleted the previous 12. The coffee maker gurgles and spits, filling my apartment with the scent of French roast. My morning routine continues, undisturbed by the digital tempest. A sharp knock at my door sends coffee sloshing over my mug's rim. Through the peephole, two police officers stand in my hallway, their badges catching the fluorescent light. Miss Dawson? The older officer's voice carries through the door. We're responding to a wellness check. Your family's concerned about your safety. My fingers work the deadbolt. The door opens to reveal a tall male officer with salt and pepper hair, and his partner, a woman about my age with observant brown eyes. I'm fine, I say, gesturing to my business attire, my organized apartment visible behind me. Not missing or in danger, just done being used. The female officer's gaze sweeps over me, taking in details, steady hands, clear eyes, professional demeanor. A flash of understanding crosses her face. Families sometimes escalate when they lose control, she says softly. Be careful. Document everything. Their footsteps fade down the hallway. I press my palm against the doorframe, steadying myself. Someone else sees it. Someone else understands. The evening brings another assault. I'm stirring marinara sauce when the pounding starts, hard enough to rattle the brass numbers on my door. We know you're in there. My father's voice booms through the wood. Open this door right now, Claire. Rachel's higher pitch joins the chorus. You can't just cut us off like this. We're your family. The spoon in my hand trembles. Every instinct screams to rush to the door, to smooth things over when to fix it. But my feet remain planted on the kitchen tile. Mrs. Rodriguez from next door peers out her apartment. I catch her eye through my peephole as she pulls out her phone, likely calling building security. The shouting continues, echoing off the hallway walls. What about family loyalty? Martin's voice cracks. A laugh bubbles up from my chest, sharp and foreign. Family loyalty? After everything? The marinara sauce bubbles, drawing my attention back to the stove. I give it a slow stir, letting their voices fade into white noise. My phone buzzes again. Rachel. Mom's having anxiety attacks. Is that what you want? The message joins the others in my deleted folder. 2 days later, I sit across from Alan Reeves in his wood-paneled office. Golden afternoon light filters through vertical blinds, casting stripes across his mahogany desk. The lawyer's wire-rimmed glasses catch the glow as he reviews my documents. You're still co-signer on their mortgage, he says, tapping a page with his pen. That's a significant liability. I want a full audit. The words taste like freedom on my tongue. And I want to initiate a forced equity sale of my share. Reeves leans back, studying me over steepled fingers. Most people cave when it comes to family. The pressure can be intense. I meet his gaze. I'm not most people. Not anymore. A week later, the for sale sign appeared, stark white against the autumn foliage. Through my windshield, I watch neighbors slow their cars, necks craning toward the 5-bedroom colonial where birthday parties and holiday gatherings had filled 30 years of memories. A U-Haul truck sat in the circular driveway, its orange and white panels reflecting morning sunlight. My fingers tightened around the steering wheel. Mom stooped beneath the weight of a box marked kitchen, her silver roots showing through faded dye. Dad's polo shirt hung loose on his frame as he directed the movers, his business casual facade crumbling along with his pride. Rachel's minivan idled nearby, her 3-year-old pressed against the window, tiny hand waving at grandparents who couldn't wave back. Boxes and furniture dotted the lawn like tombstones. A mahogany dining table where we'd shared Sunday dinners. The vintage china cabinet Dad inherited from his mother. Tyler's first guitar, strings dangling, propped against a sign that read, "Free." His music store's going out of business sale hadn't covered half his debts. My phone buzzed. Another message from Mom. Your father's heart medication doubled this week. The doctor says it's stress. Please, Claire, we're your family delete. 3 more texts arrived in quick succession. How can you sleep at night knowing what you've done to us? Delete I cry myself to sleep every night. Delete. You're killing your own father with this vindictiveness. Delete. The support group met in a church basement on Tuesday nights. Plastic chairs arranged in a circle, coffee burning on a side table, stories flowing like confession. Sandra, a retired teacher, squeezed my hand as I described the morning's drive-by. It was never about the money, was it? Her voice carried the weight of experience. It's about the betrayal. I keep thinking I should feel guilty. The words scrape my throat. But all I feel is relief. Heads nodded around the circle. Mark, who'd refinanced his house 3 times to support a gambling-addicted son, offered a sad smile. The guilt comes later. Then you remember they're adults who made their choices. You just stopped cushioning the fall. My phone lit up with Rachel's latest Facebook post. Some people forget blood is thicker than water. Karma never forgets family betrayal. Toxic, heartbroken. Exposed. Sandra glanced at the screen. Your sister sounds charming. She had a perfect wedding. Designer dress, string quartet, chocolate fountain. I pocketed the phone. $33,000 of perfect courtesy of her ATM sister. And now? She's selling leggings on Instagram between passive-aggressive posts about me. The church bells chimed 9. People gathered coats and bags, exchanging hugs and phone numbers. Jenny, a first-timer whose parents had drained her retirement fund, lingered by the coffee. Does it get easier? No. I gathered my purse. But you get stronger. The call from Alan Reeves came Thursday morning. His voice carried the precision of expensive education and victory. They've liquidated almost everything. The house sale closes next week. My office window reflected a woman I barely recognized. Shoulders straight, chin lifted, eyes clear. How much is still outstanding? $59,000. They're requesting leniency. Your father mentioned something about blood being thicker than water. All of it? The words emerged without hesitation. Every dollar. Even after the house sale. They'll be living in a 2-bedroom apartment. Your mother mentioned all of it. Silence crackled across the line. Then, I'll make it happen. 3 days later, the first therapy session felt like surrender. Dr. Walsh's office smelled of lavender and old books, diplomas lining walls the color of sea glass. Tell me why you're here, Claire. I thought love meant sacrifice. Tears ambushed me, hot and unexpected. If you gave enough, did enough, somehow they'd... My voice cracked. They'd see you. She let the silence stretch, comfortable as an old quilt. Love without respect is just control in disguise. I gave them everything. The tissue in my hand shredded under restless fingers. Money, time, dreams, they took and took and took, and still, they forgot my birthday, didn't even send a text. But they remembered to ask for money the next week. $2,500 for Dad's 60th birthday party. What did that tell you? That I was never their daughter. I was their retirement plan. In the weeks to come, spring arrived with cherry blossoms and closing documents. The deed to my new townhouse filled 3 inches of manila envelope, every page marked with fresh signatures, no co-signers, no family obligations, just my name, my money, my future, stretching clean and bright as April sunshine. Sandra helped me arrange furniture, her arthritic fingers still nimble with picture hooks. Have you heard from them? Mom sends scripture verses about honoring your parents. Rachel posts cryptic quotes about karma. Tyler's giving guitar lessons at the Y instead of touring with his band. I straightened a framed photograph, my support group at our Christmas potluck. Dad hasn't said a word since the final payment cleared. And how do you feel? The question hung between us like morning mist. Through my living room window, dogwood petals danced on the breeze, white as fresh beginnings. For the first time in years, my shoulders carry no weight but their own. I feel free. The pottery wheel spun beneath my fingers, wet clay slipping through them like time itself. 6 months of freedom had softened the sharp edges of my anger into something smoother. My hair fell loose around my shoulders, wisps escaping from a casual bun. No pressed silk dress tonight, just old jeans and a paint-splattered t-shirt that would have horrified my former self. Beautiful centering, Claire. Sandra, our instructor, nodded approvingly. You're developing quite a touch. The other students murmured in agreement, their own wheels whirring in the converted warehouse space. Evening light slanted through industrial windows, catching dust motes and the occasional splash of water. For the first time in my adult life, I had chosen something purely for myself. No practical purpose, no family obligation, no return on investment beyond the simple pleasure of creating. The bell above the door chimed. "Sorry I'm late," a familiar voice said. "Traffic on Main Street was—" My hands froze on the wheel. The clay wobbled, lost its center. Martin Dawson stood in the doorway, thinner than I remembered, silver threading through his dark hair. His confident posture withered into something uncertain, diminished. The designer suits and Italian leather shoes were gone, replaced with khakis and a plain button-down that looked like it came from a discount rack. Our eyes met across the studio. His breath caught audibly. "Welcome," Sandra called out. "You must be our new student." "There's an open wheel right over there, right across from mine." Martin hesitated, one foot sliding backward toward the door. But something in his expression shifted, and he moved to the assigned wheel. The space between us stretched wide as an ocean, filled with the ghosts of bounced checks and broken promises. I forced my attention back to my bowl, but my fingers had lost their sureness. The walls collapsed inward, then outward, refusing to hold the shape I wanted. Like so many things in my life, it had looked stable until the moment it wasn't. "Remember to breathe," Sandra murmured, passing behind me. "The clay responds to tension." From the corner of my eye, I watched Martin struggle with his own lump of clay, his movements too aggressive, too determined to force the material into submission. Water splashed onto his shirt. A muscle twitched in his jaw. The same tell I remembered from childhood, when his latest business venture started to crumble. "Gentle pressure," Sandra told him. "Clay doesn't judge. It just takes the shape we give it." A strange laugh bubbled up in my throat. I swallowed it back, focusing on rebuilding my bowl's walls. When Sandra called time, I almost didn't want to stop. My hands were steady now, covered in clay but certain in their purpose. The bowl wasn't perfect, but it was mine. Every flaw and finger mark a choice I had made myself. "Your bowl turned out nice." I looked up. Martin stood nearby, but not too near, his own misshapen attempt at a cylinder cradled awkwardly in his hands. "Thanks." My voice came out steady. "It's my first time." The silence stretched between us, heavy with unspoken words. Students filtered past, carrying their creations to the drying racks. Sandra began wiping down wheels. "Claire." He cleared his throat. Could we talk? Just for a minute?" The old instinct flared. Say yes, keep the peace, smooth things over. But those muscles had atrophied after months of therapy and boundary setting. I gathered my purse and keys, taking my time. 5 minutes, I said, in the parking lot. Outside, crickets chirped in the warm evening air. Martin's car, I noticed, was at least 10 years old, a far cry from the luxury vehicles he once leased to maintain appearances. "We're renting a small apartment near here now," he said, following my gaze. "The house." Well, you know about the house I did. The forced equity sale had been more satisfying in theory than execution. Watching my childhood home stripped down to numbers in a ledger, divided and subtracted, until nothing remained but hard truth. Diane's working at Macy's, he continued, part-time in the jewelry department. She's actually pretty good at it. And I'm doing some consulting. Small businesses, nothing fancy. Living within our means. For the first time in decades. That's good, I said and meant it. I hope it works out for you. You were always the strong one. His voice cracked. I just never had the courage to admit it, to admit any of it. What we did to you. He shook his head. It was wrong. All of it. The money, the guilt, the manipulation, using your love against you. I don't expect forgiveness, but I needed you to know. I understand now. What we stole wasn't just money. It was your trust, your childhood, your right to be more than our safety net. The words I'd waited decades to hear, but they fell into the space between us like stones into still water, ripples fading before they reach the shore. I hope you're doing well, Martin. The name felt strange on my tongue. Not Dad, not Daddy, just Martin, a man who shared my DNA, but had forfeited the right to anything more. The class meets weekly, he said. If you'd rather I find a different night, it's fine. I adjusted my purse strap. We're adults. We can share a pottery class. Maybe. Hope flickered across his face. Maybe we could get coffee sometime? Talk properly? I'm not ready for regular contact. The words came easily now, smooth as well-thrown clay. Maybe someday. But not now, he nodded, shoulders slumping. But when he extended his hand, the gesture held no manipulation, no hidden agenda, just recognition of boundaries drawn and respected. I shook his hand, brief, formal, the touch of strangers beginning to learn each other's shapes. Then I walked to my car without looking back, spine straight, step sure. The evening air tasted of possibility and wet clay, of things destroyed and rebuilt, of endings that might someday become beginnings. But not today. Today I had a bowl to fire, a self to strengthen, a life to shape with my own two hands. The wheel keeps spinning. We choose what forms rise from its turning. A year later, the scent of coffee mingled with fresh paint in my new living room. Sunlight streamed through bare windows, catching dust motes that danced above cardboard boxes labeled kitchen and office. But the pottery wheel commanded center stage, clay splattered and beautiful against the crisp white wall. A burst of laughter drew my attention to the kitchen, where Sarah stirred pancake batter while Monica hung streamers. Real friends, who showed up at 7 in the morning to help celebrate my 33rd birthday. Earth to Claire! Monica waved a spatula. Where should we put the gifts? Gifts? The word caught in my throat. Last year's rooftop restaurant flashed through my mind. Empty chairs, untouched cake, silence. I blinked the memory away. You didn't have to. Stop right there. Sarah abandoned her batter to grip my shoulders. We wanted to. Because that's what friends do. My therapy journal peeked from a half-unpacked box, its pages dog-eared and coffee-stained. Dr. Walsh's neat handwriting marked progress in the margins. Growth isn't linear. Your worth isn't measured in dollars given. 6 months of weekly sessions, unraveling decades of familiar knots. The doorbell chimed. Annie from my financial abuse support group burst in, brandishing a cake box. Sorry I'm late. The bakery took forever with the butterfly design butterflies. My chest tightened. Mom used to decorate all our birthday cakes with butterflies, until Rachel declared them childish at 13. The tradition died quietly, like so many others. But these friends remembered. They noticed when I mentioned it once. months ago, during group sharing. They remembered. Before we cut the cake, Monica announced, Claire needs to see her pottery display. They led me to the living room's east wall, where floating shelves showcased my creations. Wonky bowls and imperfect vases told the story of Tuesday nights, spent learning to center clay, to find beauty in asymmetry. Each piece represented an hour I chose myself over others' demands. The blue glaze on this one is gorgeous. Sarah traced the rim of my latest bowl. You've got talent, Claire. A year ago, I would have deflected the compliment, rushed to minimize my achievement. Now I let the words land. Thanks. I love how the speckles turned out. My phone buzzed. A text from Diane, my mother, about her new job at Macy's. First retail position in 30 years. I remembered her hands, soft from decades of bridge club and charity luncheons, now learning to fold sweaters and work a register. I clicked the screen dark without responding. The local paper sat on my coffee table, open to the community section. Tyler's ad caught my eye. Piano lessons with Tyler Dawson, building musicians, one note at a time. His first paying student started next week. No more demo tapes shipped to record labels. No more dream of overnight stardom. Cake time! Annie called from the kitchen. Everyone grab a plate. The butterfly design sparkled with edible glitter. 33 candles formed a golden crown around the words, Happy birthday, Claire. No missing letters, no last-minute grocery store purchase. My friends gathered close, their voices lifting in the familiar song. I closed my eyes, savoring the weight of this moment, the warmth of chosen family, the lightness in my shoulders where guilt used to live. A knock at the door froze my hand mid-reach for the cake knife. I'll get it. Monica peered through the peephole, then turned to me. It's a delivery? My heart stuttered. But when I opened the door, there was only a small package wrapped in brown paper. No sender name, just my address in familiar handwriting. Inside, a clay mug rested in bubble wrap, the glaze uneven, the handle slightly crooked. A note in my father's precise script read, Made this myself. No strings attached. Sarah watched me with careful eyes. You okay? I placed the mug on an empty shelf, not hidden away, not prominently displayed, just there, like the possibility it represented. I'm better than okay, I said, and meant it. Later, after my friends left with promises to meet for brunch next weekend, I drove to Charleston Beach, the same shore where Dad's 60th birthday extravaganza would have been, with its rented yacht and champagne fountain. The autumn wind whipped my hair as I walked barefoot along the sand. My phone rang. Monica checking in. Do you regret it? She asked. Any of it? I bent to pick up a perfect shell, whole and unbroken. Setting boundaries isn't selfish. It's survival. I had to learn that the hard way waves crashed against the shore, eternal as the tides. Behind me, my footprints marked a clear path, not away from something, but toward myself. A familiar peace settled in my bones. For years, I mistook obligation for love, poured myself into a bottomless well of family needs. But love without respect is just control in disguise. Sometimes the bravest thing we can do is stop swimming against the current of who we really are. I tossed the shell back to the sea and turned toward home. My home, built not on guilt or duty, but on the solid foundation of self-worth. The sun set over the water, painting the sky in colors no potter could glaze, no family could demand, no money could buy. Tomorrow, I might use that crooked mug for my morning coffee, or I might not. The choice, like so many others now, is beautifully mine to make.